All right, we got somebody to negative 38. That's good. What's going on, guys? If you want to support our content and pick up this month's amazing Patreon rewards, you can do so at patreon.com/itresolves. If you're interested in custom playmats and sleeves, visit YourPlaymat.com and use code ItResolves10YP for 10% off your entire purchase. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another gameplay video. Today we're jumping back into some historic with a little bit of a new setup for elves. Very slight difference, nothing too crazy, but with Adventures into the Forgotten Realms, we did get some interesting new cards. The first of which is Circle of Dreams Druid. This acts essentially as an extra Elvish Archdruid here, which taps for green for every elf that we control. This taps for a green for each creature we control, which obviously they all basically are the same. So essentially, this doubles up on the excessive mana that we could possibly create, which would help us do things like Elvish Clancaller to get more of these out. Allosaurus Shepherd, which can really boost our team. Elvish Warmaster, which we could activate theoretically multiple times. And we do have the Fauna Shaman with Craterhoof Behemoth package to end the game very quickly. If you don't know how this works, basically you tap a green, tap this, discard a card, a green creature basically, and then search up another creature, which is just Craterhoof Behemoth, to throw it onto the battlefield and hopefully end the game very quickly. It's a very straightforward little combo, but it's nice because we can really generate quite a lot of mana very quickly, especially, you know, in the 1-drop slot we do have Llanowar Elf and things like that. So we've got a lot of options here. We do also have 2 Lair of the Hydra. I personally think these are a little bit better when you've got more of them, because you do want to play them early, but this is just kind of a backup plan, so I only threw 2 of them in here as a way, again, to kind of sink all of that mana into a really big Hydra and hopefully finish the game that way. So everything else is pretty straightforward. I mean, we've got the standard setup, the Dwynen's Elite to kind of get a nice little 2-for-1. We've got Imperious Perfect, who can spit out some nice tokens. Marwyn is in here as well. And that's really it. It's a fairly straightforward deck, but I wanted to give this one a shot. We'll see how it goes. One thing I did want to mention, the reason I'm running 4 Marwyn is because we are running the Fauna Shaman combo. Obviously, you don't want too many of these. That is a legendary creature, but we can discard any extras we have to the Fauna Shaman to pick out anything else that we need. So all that to say, I'm really excited. I love elves. We're going to give this one a shot. We're going to run it through 3 historic games and we'll see how it does. All right, guys, here we are for game number 1. This isn't an amazing hand, but it is a decent start. We would really like to have a Llanowar Elf in this hand, because then we can get the Archdruid down early. But this does get a Clancaller on turn 2, and then ideally maybe an Archdruid turn 3. But we will see. We do need some land still here, but this is obviously a fairly strong start. The elf deck in general is one that we've seen do really well in historic. Oh no, that's kind of funny. Let's go ahead and throw this out then. It's done really well in historic for a while. It's a very strong deck. There's not a whole lot of flex to it. There's certainly some packages that you could run, some that you don't have to, the Craterhoof Behemoth package being one of them, but in general, it's a pretty straightforward list. And so it's kind of interesting to see any card, I think, get into the elf strategy, and I think Circle of Dreams Druid does kind of fit that. All right, so I think it's just Elvish Archdruid. We are going to attack here. The reason being, they can't block anyway, and if it trades with anything, it's fine. So we're going to go ahead and attack. We'll see how it goes. This is just solid flyers list, which is really sad that we're probably going to lose out to it, unfortunately. Although they could overcommit at some point here. We do have some very powerful things that we can do here. So let's see. This taps for 4 currently. We can play something and then have it tap for 5. We could play this and then buff up our team with 2 Imperious Perfects, which would be pretty solid. And I think that's probably just the play. Unfortunately, this isn't great, though, because at this point, we are fairly far behind in the damage race here, so they actually just get to attack in and win, unfortunately. That's very interesting, just mono blue flyers, very classic deck. Kind of funny that it just took over like that, so well done. That's really funny to me. This is just like a really, really, really good draft deck. It feels like I'm fighting the bot, which is hilarious. I might be. That's so funny. Sure. We'll let them do it. They got it. All right, fair enough. That is game one. Unfortunately, didn't really get to see many of the new cards working out, but let's go ahead. We'll jump into game two and see how it goes. All right, so we are here for game two, and this is a very solid start. We've got the Circle of the Dreams Druid here, a couple lands, plus a Llanowar Elf. This is honestly about as good as we could probably hope for. The goal is going to be to not lose the Llanowar Elf here. It looks like they are on red, so we do have to be kind of worried, just in terms of burn spells, things like that, but at least we do have some follow-up plays if they do burn it out for whatever reason. Looks like they're not going to. So let's do this. I'm going to take the opportunity and just go ahead and play the Dream Druid. Again, highly doubt that it actually lives, but we are going to try it. I think it's worth it to try. Okay. Fair enough. They've got a very good card with Grinko. No blocks, obviously, we're just going to let that happen. Let's do this. So we can do this, then play Marwyn. Okay, so let's do this. We're setting up for a Craterhoof next turn, theoretically. Let's do this. Let's tap you. That's going to be for 4. Let's tap you also then. Let's play you. And I did mess up the order 100% there. Ooh, that was really bad. That's okay. That was just a misplay, but that was not a good misplay at all. That was really, unfortunately, a big one, but that's okay. I think we can next turn just use a Fauna Shaman to pull out the Craterhoof Behemoth, and I think we're just not going to block here. I don't think we need to. There's this. So let's do this. We're going to discard you. We are going to go get the Behemoth, you, and go ahead and play it. And this should power us up enough to just straight up win the game. That's so bad that I played the Marwyn last, but it is okay. It works out. Good game. We got there. All right, cool. So we got to see the Dreams Druid kind of do its thing. So that's really, really helpful to see. It just guarantees that we're going to have a lot more mana. So without further ado, let's jump into game 3 and hopefully avoid some misplays this time. All right, guys, here we are for game number 3. And honestly, I love this hand. Double Archdruid is really, really good. Again, the power of this deck comes from the Archdruids as well as the Dreams Druid, solely because they tap for so much mana. Marwyn actually is a very good play as well. We might end up playing that on turn 2, depending on how things fly, but we'll see as things go. We'll see what the opponent's playing. Looks like shrines. All right. Well, we do have to worry about some removal in the shrines deck, unfortunately, but hopefully they just kind of commit to the shrines and we can kind of outpace them. But we'll see. We'll certainly see. All right. I am going to go ahead and just play the Marwyn here. This obviously wants to get down as early as possible. It gets stronger throughout the game and then taps for more mana as well. So we're gonna hopefully get let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could actually double Archdruid next turn, which puts us in a really, really good spot. The only downside here is we're actually getting a bit flooded, which is kind of funny. You wouldn't normally see that, but here we are. Let's do this. And we'll attack in for 3 here. We just kind of have to hope they don't have much to sweep. We do have the Lair of the Hydra that we can start playing out here and theoretically do quite a bit with it. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, again, just drew lands, which kind of sucks, but we're getting a lot of damage in, so next turn they are technically dead. We also do have the Lair that can deal 3 to them, excuse me. All right, and they just give up. Look at that. We did it. That's hilarious. You know what? These games are going so quickly. Let's have a game 4, just for the sake of having some fun. We also ranked up there, so let's go ahead. We'll jump into game 4, and then we'll talk about this deck, because we are going very, very quickly. All right, guys, here we are for our 4th and final game, and unfortunately, I actually don't think we can keep this. We can't reliably hit another land, and we have no mana producers except for Marwyn, so I'm gonna mulligan that. Unfortunately, I think we have to try this one, solely because we do have the Llanowar Elf. We really, really, really need lands, though, so here's to hoping we can make that happen. Okay, whew. That honestly is a lifesaver, because even if the Llanowar Elf dies here, we've got some follow-up plays, so that makes me feel better. We're good. Everything's fine. Let's hope the opponent doesn't outpace us here, which truthfully is very difficult for them to do when it is elves, but they're ramping as well. We'll see what happens. We can also discard the Marwyn to the Fauna Shaman, which will help us pick up the cards that we need for the later part of the game here. So I'm going to not block, obviously. We're just going to take the 1. That's fine. Okay, so I think the play is to basically just get everything out here. So, I wish we could. Oh, we can actually. I'm sorry. Yeah, we can totally do this. So that gets us more out. Probably should have gone the other way, but it really doesn't matter. And then there we go. That's pretty solid. Okay, so next turn, the play is absolutely to discard the Marwyn. Hopefully be able to play the Craterhoof Behemoth here, which we should be able to, I believe. If not, we can always just get another Clancaller in the meantime. So yeah, I mean, we're pretty well set up. This is Elves, man. This is the best, in my opinion, I think the best historic deck. It's, especially for best of 1, it's just so reliably fast that it works almost, well, a very high amount of the time. It's gonna work, which is pretty awesome. All right, so let's pull out that Craterhoof Behemoth. There we go. Can we play this and then do it? Yeah, we actually can, I believe. If not, doesn't really matter. We can still do a lot of cool stuff, so it's fine. All right, cool. There we go. That's gonna give everything a lot. Holy crap. All right. Yes, there it is. Man, -38. All right, we got somebody to -38. That's good. All right, so let's chat about this deck a little bit. Okay, so as we have already established, this was established well before this this new version, but Elves is just way too good. Elves is very, very solid. It's a super, super aggro-y kind of high potential list that also goes over the top. And it's classic, not even just in historic. That's like the norm for elves everywhere. And so it's a very, very powerful list. It's always been a very powerful list, but it's kind of nice to see the reliable, like, large chunk of mana that you can get out of the Archdruid doubled up in the Dreams Druid. And in my opinion, that helps a lot. The Lair, while we didn't really see it do its thing, does actually help a good bit. We saw in the in one of the games, I don't remember which one, because we played it extra, but in one of the games, we did have, you know, a board full of creatures plus a Lair, and the trick with that is that if they swept for whatever reason, we at least have a follow-up creature that we could either block or be on the offensive with to try and finish them off. So it provides that little bit of a safety net. It's not perfect, obviously, but it does help us out a little bit and just ensure that, you know, even if there is a sweeper for whatever reason, we're not just going to lose to it, which I think in general is kind of the downfall of Elves. A lot of times you kind of overcommit to it, and then sometimes you just, you know, get board wiped and then you're done. But I think that helps kind of prevent that from happening. I would even suggest you could potentially run more of them, since they basically just tap for green anyway. It's actually worthwhile maybe to run 4, but regardless, I love this list. I think Elves is super, super fun. I'm really happy to have the Dreams Druid. I don't know if it's going to be a staple. I don't 100% know if it's needed, but it really made it easy to guarantee that we had a lot of mana to do the Fauna Shaman Craterhoof combo. So I liked it. I loved it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know we had 4 games, so but it still is shorter than most of our other ones. But regardless, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow for part 2 of Challenge Week. It is Card Draw Challenge, so make sure that if you've got a deck that you'd like to submit, you do so in the Discord. But thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow.